Hello and welcome, it's Debs here, talking about simple and practical spirituality. So during a conversation the other day, insecurity came up. And one of the things that came out of my mouth was something along the lines of security is innate within us and insecurity is thought. And then I was asked the question, okay, so if security is innate and insecurity is thought, how do I stop having that insecure thinking? And this sparked a whole conversation, and I realised that my own insecurity, my own deep insecurity had caused all of my problems, and learning to understand a deeper truth of who I am, learning to understand the true nature of thought and what it means has changed all that for me. So the quick answer to that question, if security is innate, which it is, and insecurity is a thought, which it is, how do I stop having insecure thinking? The truth of it is, you probably won't, we can't, that's not how it works, that's not what we can do. But what we can do is learn to understand it, because the problem isn't so much that we have insecure thinking, it's that we believe it to be true. It's that the feeling that it comes with, we believe that that feeling is telling us that we are right to think in that way, to feel fearful, to feel insecure, and we need to do something about the circumstances. Or maybe it's that we need to stop that feeling within ourselves. So it's not that we are going to stop insecure thoughts, but we can learn to understand our thinking. We can learn to understand what the feelings that come with that is telling us. We can learn to work with this system, work with how we are created and made. And when we work with things, we can do amazing things. When we work against our system, we just make things harder and harder and harder for ourselves. Fighting our mind, if we fight our mind, we will never win. If we surrender to our mind, learn to love and understand it, then we are absolutely onto a winner here. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. How is it that we learn to, what is it we can learn to understand, and how do we learn to understand our own mind and what this means? I'm actually going to use, one of the things that I love to do is walk my talk. So I'm actually going to use something that is going on for me in this moment. So I'm building a house, so maybe some of you know that. I've bought a plot of land and I'm building a house. And right now I've ordered a septic tank. Now there was a whole rigmarole about having the money to order this septic tank. That I created that. I learned lots of things about my own mind and what goes on. And the money for the septic tank showed up in my world. And so I have ordered a septic tank. It's on order. And it was supposed to come on Friday. So the guy told me it was coming, Thursday, sorry. as I'm making this video, this is actually on a Monday. And the septic tank was supposed to come on Thursday, but it just didn't show up. And I rang the guy and he didn't answer his phone, and I emailed the company and nobody answered my email. And I was getting really, my thinking, I was having a lot of very insecure thinking. And typically, typically about how I think about myself. I know one of the things that one of the reasons that I'm building this house, one of the reasons that I'm doing this is to learn things about myself, to do exactly what I'm going to describe to you here. So who I have always been has been very insecure around money, and like, oh well, you're stupid, you've bought this from the wrong company, this company is going to be trying to scam you, whatever, all of these kinds of things. And all of this thought came up because I couldn't get hold of the company and the septic tank hadn't turned up. All of this thinking came up, and the feeling that thing that comes with that thinking, all of that came up too, and it felt incredibly real. Now, what I know to be true is security is innate. I don't need a septic tank. I don't need land. I don't need things to go my way. That's part of playing and creating. We are here to play and create. We are here to do those kinds of things, to be guided in that way and do it. But I don't need any of that to feel the security that I am, the security that is innate. Now, the problem, if you like, would occur if I listened to that thinking, believed it to be true, and got to the state where I had a panic attack, or it because of the feeling. And there's nothing wrong with it all feeling like it does. That's the system. But for me, what I realized was, oh yeah, that's a bunch of thinking that I can have about myself. But who am I? Who am I being? And connecting back to that innate security that is beneath that thinking, because there's so much more to us than just our humanness. And no matter how crazy our mind goes, underneath that is a pool, a deep well of being, well-being, goodness, love, connection to who we are. And when we connect into that, when we stop listening to all that craziness that goes on and connect to that, when we become still in whatever way makes sense to us, then we feel that, and what we do from there is something completely different, even if the circumstances turn out to be what we most feared. From that place, we can still have an experience of love and connection and security. And so that's what I did. I just calmed completely down. And as of yet, I'm sat here. I haven't heard today when the septic tank is coming. I don't know if it will ever turn up, but I am in security, love, peace of mind. I'm in that place because I'm going beyond any crazy thinking that comes up. And we can have that crazy thinking. I mean, you may be listening to this and thinking, well, yeah, that's okay about a septic tank, but because the thinking that you will have, trust me, for me, that is the kind of thoughts that can look really, or certainly who, before understanding and before deepening my understanding of that, that was the stuff that would feel real for me. So trust me, whatever it is that is feeling real for you, you have this same ability to find that well of well-being, that innate security that is within you, that is beneath that thinking. You have the same ability as I do to connect to that. And that is what we have going for us. That's the system. That's what we can learn to understand and see. But when we have been so used to, and certainly in our societies, people don't talk about this. Mostly we talk about, oh my gosh, yes, you're probably, what do you need to do? You need to get onto this guy, you need to say this, you need to complain, you need to blah, 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 blah. All from a place of insecurity. Now, I'm not saying that we wouldn't do all of those things, but it is the being. Who are we being? Where are we connected to within ourselves when we are doing these things? That is the key. And that is what stops us creating bad relationships, stops us creating illness within ourselves, stops us creating these situations where we are fearful about money and live in lack. So if you want to have better health, have better relationships, and live from a place of security and plenty, it is about understanding who are you being? What is your state of being when these things happen? Can you connect to this deeper place within you? And it is a practice. It is there for all of us. And I hold my hands up. There are absolutely times when I can't find it. But it is about the more I see this, the more I know this, the more I can come back there. And it is first and foremost playing with this in any small scenarios that maybe don't mean quite so much to you. Just playing and seeing, finding that love and security, even in a moment when you are just innately connected to it, getting familiar with it and feeling it, so that you can come back there, that come back to underneath that thinking. Because we are all so familiar with our crazy thinking and believe it to be true that we never try, we don't have a practice of going beneath that and finding, like letting go, surrendering that thought and going beyond it. So thank you guys, I love you, thank you for listening here, and I will be making more videos about that surrendering and finding that place. So I hope you found something useful today. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Bye for now.